Hello, I'm Crank from Team Vitality currently. I've been playing StarCraft 1 and 2 for, I don't know, over 20 years, I guess.
When did you remember first seeing StarCraft 1?
Actually, in the past, my family wasn't that very comfortable economically, but like somehow we get more TV channels suddenly, and I could get to see the own game in OGN, and there was like Boxer versus, I would say, Junwi in Olympus Star League, and then it got me, I was very addicted because I didn't know that like playing game, if you are good at it, you could be on TV and then make tons of people, joyful things like that. I thought it was awesome, and then I really tried to find a way to convince me why if I say like for study or some specific, there is no on purpose, I didn't do it. So I wanted to find my dream to focus on, and then watching that OGN and then playing StarCraft got me, this entire different zone to me.
So do you remember going to the PC bunks with your friends to play StarCraft?
Yep, but I mean, since I used to be pro player of StarCraft 1 and 2, of course I was already the top player in my town. So sometimes I went to PC bang with my friend, but it was boring for me because like playing with them, hanging out with the friends is like you cannot beat them up so easily. So yeah, sometimes I went, but most likely I played at home to practice.
Would you say that was a common occurrence, people being able to play at home, Brood War?
Yeah, because like it's not like I'm proud of something that I'm gonna say. It's like in the past, people play games without buying it, So a lot of people just play Broodlord with a not official server, So yeah, people go PC bang to hang out with a friend, but like play StarCraft 1 or at home is very common.
Do you know kind of why StarCraft 1 caught the attention of Korea so much?
You are asking why it was popular in Korea, especially. So where like a PC bang was something in the moment, and the Broodlord was. I think the game was picked by people who wanted to start a new business, like OGN or Tony Boss or Ambush Game, and then it actually fits also a lot. And like still, I think StarCraft 1 and 2, watching those kind of game is not less funny than League of Legends or Overwatch, something like that. Like watching this kind of artists was really a thing for Korea, and we like to compete. So Korea used to be very poor, and then because of culture rise, we were born to compete each other, so we could be survived, So it's 1v1, there's no luck. So that's why I think we like to play and watch it.
When did you become a pro gamer for Brood War?
I was okay to study at school in normal level, I would say, but I didn't want to just study because I was told to, So I was trying to find what I liked the most, what I was good at it. So watching OGM makes me think I could be one of them, So I tested it, and then I was already like unbeatable in my around town, so I decided to play like seriously instead of playing for fun. So it was around 16, 15, but my parents were so angry. But yeah, when I was a high school, like second grade, I decided to do it no matter what. So yeah, I tried and then I made it.
What year was that?
It was 2007, I would say. And then 2008, I literally like quit school and then negotiated with my parents. If I try 1 year and then I couldn't make it, I would drop the whole gaming and then came back to school. But I made it, so it was done. So 2008, I think I joined the pro gaming team.
When did you become, you said you were watching the broadcast and you watched like Boxer versus Old School Name. But when was that? So how long were you watching these professional Broodlord players before you became a player yourself?
I think it was 4 years. I think 3 years I watched it just for fun, and then 1-2 years in the end, I thought I could be one of them. I wanted to be one of them. So yeah, it was like around 3 to 4 years before I became pro player.
Do you have any fond memory of any particular match that you watched while you were still a fan?
Actually, I think you guys must remember the Boxer versus, I don't remember the name. He used to be like Switch random. There was like island maps, Boxer versus Protoss, Paradox, and then in my cube Starik. I was actually watching that match lively, and then I screamed a lot, and then I got nagged by parents, you know. But it was a lot. I was really like huge fan of Boxer. So, and then a lot of people were mentioning about like Boxer versus Yellow, like you know, Bunker Rush 3 times in a row. But for me, I wasn't because of Boxer's big fan. It's because I was trying to be one of them. I thought the strategy was really like unpredictable, unexpected. So I thought it was really cool. And then like, after watching it and then went online, a lot of people were talking shit about Boxer. I was like, that was weird, you know? Because a lot of people are waiting Boxer versus Yellow, and then, you know, order chicken, and then waiting for watching one of the legend match for 2-3 hours, but it ended like 30 minutes, you know? So yeah, I think those memories were like kicked into me a lot, and then that's one of the reasons, I think.
Do you remember the type of energy, how big the crowd was for some of these big finals events?
Yeah, I mean, StarCraft 1, the Broodlord scene was the biggest one, just like as big as the League of Legends in Korea. So I'm living in Daegu, which is like 2 hours away from Seoul by train. They actually came to Daegu to, you know, run the finals, like GLHF Project, Protoss Starik, and then one of the Sky Pro League. I think it's Samsung versus T1, or I don't remember exactly, but I was one of them. And then I actually saw like here, like there was I love OV, and then I was here. I was fan and he was pro player. But like after 5 years, you know, he was my teammate and then coach. It was like huge. It was huge. Even in Daegu, we could make like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 to watch Starik. So those kind of memory convinced me it could be some business. It could be something that I can convince my parents that this is job, that the future job, that, you know, one of like basketball players or baseball players. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to me to think realistically and then, you know, passionately.
Speaking of Boxer and I Love Oof, did Korea also refer to them kind of like as the sons of Boxers, like Boxer's heritage?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Can you explain that for the camera, basically, what that whole situation was, Boxer and the Terrans, and why they each like iterated on the Terran race? So people think of, you know, Boxer as very micro heavy, and I Love Oof came and made macro really good. And then Fantasy continued with the SKT line. And then going into StarCraft 2, you know, people called MMA the son of Boxer as well. So basically just for the camera purposes, kind of explaining that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, Boxer was really like really star player because his macro wasn't that great even in StarCraft 2 as well, but he's always made something to, fans excited a lot. Because like macro player, you cannot really make a scene because all you can do is make one more, like 10 or 100 more Marines to overcome, and then overwhelmed opponent. So people like me or people knows about games more and more deeper, knows how incredible the macro player is, but people like just normal people casually watching StarCraft don't know how awesome it is, how awesome you have to repeat the same thing again and again and again, and then it's like 2 seconds, 3 seconds faster and faster. So like a boxer or MMA or, for example, virtual control of fantasy, it's like a League of Legends. The camera from OGN can follow all the way how they micro, things like that. So there was always fan base for macro and micro. And I was like starting from the micro players fan and then became to macro because you cannot, even if you kill like 3 lurkers with 1 marine, it doesn't matter if you save the 2,000 resource. But like macro player, even if you lose like 2, 3, 4 marines by only 1 lurker, it's fine because you have tons of marines. So that was a really dynamic between macro and micro, and then history of Terran.
So you chose Protoss in Broodlord, correct?
Yep.
So what appealed to you about playing Protoss in Broodlord?
Well, I should have chosen different race. I don't know if you already saw the whole history, even in like if I accept the whole Africa TV Static, even if including that, in whole Broodlord League, Protoss win number is lower than Terran's or StarCraft 2 as well, But I'm not here to whine, but just saying that. I wanna be something to be hope for, weaker scene. You know what I'm talking about? So Protoss was really weak at the moment as well. Like for example, Ever's Tariq in the back. There was I forgot the name. How can I forget the name? Who is one of legend Protoss player?
Bisu, Stork, Reach.
Reach. He was the best Protoss player when I started watching and then playing. And then it was something that always like OGN commentators and fans are making story about Protoss in 4, Protoss is weak in all other season, but rising only in 4, things like that. And I actually watched it from that moment, and then it got me to play Protoss. And then, even if I wasn't good at playing StarCraft, like in pro level or something like that, still, you wanna whine, my race sucks, things like that. But I wasn't actually when I was a pro player in Broodlord and then StarCraft 2, I never whined. Because there was always MC, there was always like Bisu, who is always good as like Flash or MMA or others, So I always believed I could make that. And then if I go back more past, there was Nala. He is the one who, I don't know if he created, but he actually optimized about the Forge double Lexus, the Pylon Forge Cannon double Lexus. So I wanted to be like him, making some new entire strategy, and then carry the whole race. That's why I picked Protoss.
So speaking of revolutionizing, you got to be a pro gamer kind of the same year that Bisu versus Savior happened.
Yeah.
Can you speak about Bisu's revolution? What made that so special?
Actually, I don't know if you remember about the Korean culture or you ever heard of it. Actually, in the past in Korea, a lot of people cares more OGN than ambition game. It's something like Ambush game is always top. The OGN is always top, and the Ambush game, things like that. So I didn't have any idea because like I always believed what online said, what people said, in the internet. So I thought the Ambush game was just the top 2 tier. So I didn't really care that even if Bisu beat Savior or but like after getting into more professional level, I realized that how incredible it was, because like you said, he just step up to totally another level. So playing like Bisu and then realizing it was like it kicked me a lot. Like I was shocked because in the past there was nobody play Corsair Dark Temple like that. It was always like just the Canon double Lexus or even like 2-gate Stellar Rush, things like that. But he made that, and then he actually crushed all Zerg. Here PVG, I heard from Best, who is the soup streamer, is still Zerg is the favorite in the best of 3, 5, 7, in final, things like that. So, but he beat Zerg so easily in the past, right? So when I actually played like him, like always try to follow new strategy when you are newbie or trainee or B-team player. I was shocked that Protoss can play this way, and then Protoss can actually like Protoss is always like the race that follow what Zerg do, But at that moment, when Protoss just build another strategy, Zerg is the one who wanted to find a way, like solution to beat this kind of Corsair Dark. So only that period, I was happy to play Zerg, but Zerg will always somehow find the solution. Yeah, but like in conclusion, I didn't really realize how good Bisu was at that moment, but after playing a few weeks, I realized how incredible he was. And then I was shocked that he was same age as mine.
Do you think that it was a better, more entertaining system in Brood War that there were so few tournaments? There was OSL, MSL, Pro League, compared to StarCraft 2, which had, a monthly GSL for a while.
There is always pros and cons, like that, but I don't know. In the past, when I was the SK Telecom T1 and STX Seoul, people like me wanted to have more chance to show my performance and then show the proof that I have potential. But there was no many tournament, only 2-3 times for qualifier. If you suck at it, it's done for entire year. So it was really frustrating. But like about entertaining wise, it's because of there is Pro League. And then if you watch the StarCraft 1 scene, the Broodlord scene, like dimly, there was a B-team Pro League as well. So there is something that the fields of when there is OSL, MSL going on. But I think the Broodlord scene was really the last tournament, in my opinion, and StarCraft 2 is too much. It has to be something like middle of there, I think because of Broodlord has really last tournament, few tournament, that's why StarCraft 2 became, that crazy February, January, March, things like that. Yeah, but if I chose what to prepare, I think still if the scene can be economically healthy, I think the Broodlord way is slightly better than StarCraft 2, because people try to follow the whole entire tournament and then gave up because you are busy, life is tired. So that's my opinion.
And can you explain just how entertaining, how important Pro League was? So OSL and MSL were 1v1 tournaments in the fashion that we know in StarCraft 2 for the most part. But Pro League seems to be an outlier. It's this special event that doesn't feel like it's been replicated either. So can you explain how that was so special?
I was there, right? I couldn't be the one of them to play like carry the team, but I was actually in the roster, and then there is the I don't know how to explain in English the perfect wise, but I was like bench warmer, always like with them. But because of Pro League, we could be one of the united, and then like you said that I love Uv. He always tried to trash talk against KT, and then KT always trash talk to T1, things like that. And then, but in individual tournament, some players did it few times, and then in Korea, in culture, always have to be humble or things like that. But for our team, for the team wise, for more than one people, it's kind of like excused, so it can be more entertained. And if you remember the Brock, the firebat hero, he actually threw the rice into the sea, ocean, things like that. I know him, he is my friend, but he did in individual tournament as well. But still, like it's team versus team, and then the company need to be, need always try to find why we support the team if individual tournament is still, the top entertaining, or people don't care Pro League. If I run the team, if people don't care about Pro League, players don't care about Pro League, I would just hire Bisu or Fantasy and then run the team, because they're the only one who can have some possibility to win the tournament. People don't care about. I don't wanna snipe or sue or some people, but people don't care about second place or the same finalist, things like that. That sucks. But Pro League, if you reach the moment, and then there is draft system as well, and then that's why it was more entertaining. And then company realized, people found why Pro League is different than individual tournament. They actually make prize inside of a team, and then salary were always depending on how good you are, how many wins you brought into the team, instead of you won the OSL, you won the MSL. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I recall that people obviously kept track of how many OSLs were won and how many MSLs were won, but there was also, keeping track of how dominant someone is in a team league.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very important. Can you talk about your experience in the Broodlord team house?
It was horrible, to be honest. It was really horrible. Yeah, I think I'm the only one who is not pitched the top level and they're still alive in StarCraft 2 scene, I would say. Because people who wasn't good at Broodlord and played the StarCraft 2 already moved to another scene, for entire scene or another game. But I don't know, because of my starting was horrible. That's why I think I'm trying to not be greedy or trying to think on realistically. If let's go into the past of Broodlord. It's so yeah, like I said, that I negotiated with my parents. There was only 1 year, so I joined the clan in US West. Of course, it's based on Asia, but somehow people played always the US West. I don't know why, but so I joined the name clan. At that moment, the master was Hirai, who is the KT roster League of Legends the head coach now, and he used to be the LGIM in StarCraft 2. So I was the best amateur player in that clan. So I was introduced to Samsung Khan at the moment, and the Aztec Store. Samsung Khan, I couldn't really make it, but the Aztec Store was different. It was not interview or things like that. They gathered a lot of good amateur players and then make tournament. Whoever win automatically join the team, and then if they think some people are talented, they can pick the players. So at that moment, I was the best. At that moment, there was innovation and trap and others, but somehow everybody just joined the STX, and then I was very excited to join pro team, right? It was only like 6 months, something like that. And then I was called to pay in their team house, right? There is no enough bed. So there is bed frame, and then it was broken. So the matrix wasn't even. It was like crooked. So I had to use there. And I always had to practice until 3 a.m. If I went to bed earlier than, let's say, there was Godzilla and Hwashin and Calm, if I went to bed earlier than them, I would be negative, where they would write down the crank is not passionate or things like that shit. And then I had to wake up earlier than them, like 7 a.m., things like that, and then clean, wipe their desk or prepare breakfast, and then wash dishes. So after a week, I couldn't get it. How I could reach their level if I couldn't sleep enough and I couldn't have enough practice time when I had to clean the house and then even laundry as well. So it was horrible. So after 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, there was the first qualifier for the MBS game or SL. I think it's both, but of course I failed. Normally it has to fail. People cannot really qualify as a first time. That's normal. Tons of people are nervous. It's my last chance for DC or some shit. So I failed, and then they told me to go back to Daegu to stay home for a while because I lost. And then they thought I was lazier. So I was like, what the I'm trying to move. I will move to another team, things like that. So that's why I joined the T1. But even though I moved to T1, same thing happened. And then I already mentioned in my stream in Korea many times. So there is one guy that I cannot really say in real name. I practiced for his Pro League match, and then of course I wasn't that bad player, so it was always 40-60 or 50-50 with the players who play Pro League match. But he had to show coach and the head coach replays that he practiced with me and others. He wanted to hide my that he lost against me. And then the head coach and coach, I think it was wrote down in the Wattpad or I think Notepad or something like that. And then Fantasy found it that coaching staff told him to not practice with Crank because he sucked. And I thought I was very disappointing because they could talk to me if I'm the one of their player, right? If one of your player is struggling, the coach's job is going there, what's happening. And then they could figure right because of other people wanted to show only good games. He didn't share the other games that Crank did best, But he didn't do to only me. He did others as well. So, but because of Fantasy told me that he was worried about me, and I lost all passion. Of course, T1 tried to hold me back, but I lost all my patience and trust. So for the B team, I was like between A and B because I wasn't as good as Bisu and Fantasy, of course, but I was better than B. So I was like middle of something. So at that moment, Su was a slightly slightly lower than me or something like that. But after I quit, I saw Su and the hero from S6 they were like semi-final in OSL or things like that. So I was, oh, I could be one of them if I kept practicing and being there, things like that. But nobody knows what happened. But the T1 held me back, and then I just ghosted them. Of course, before I went to military, I went there and then talk, and then that's why I just still like talk with the T1. But I was shocked. So it was a nightmare. Like people like me who survived there, I really respect them. Seriously, it was because there are tons of players who wanted to be one of Boxer, one of Fantasy, one of Bisu. They use us as a one of like spoon. There's tons of spoon, So you can use it is spoon. Oh, just throw away and then find the better spoon. So I thought I was wrong to think the business was the future business, but like somehow it turns out the healthier way, which is good. But for example, for year 6 months, even though around is 2009, 2008, I earned only the let's say $3,000 for 1 year, 6 months. So yeah, it was horrible.
Jeez. So StarCraft 2 was announced around that time as well. What were the reactions of the general Korean population, but also the other rookies that you were with?
Actually, I was military, and like I said, I lost all passion and patience of this kind of corrupted esports scene, I would say, in the past. And I didn't care that. But people like me who's rookie, like MMA and others, like MC, tried the StarCraft 2 and then boomed, So a lot of people thought it could be another chance, because in Broodlord scene, a lot of not still, like already full field. There's no rookie casters, commentators, new broadcasts, new players. That was already OSL, Ambush game, MSL, and the Boxer. Boxer was already like but still, there is no like another legend player at all. So a lot of people, players, broadcast, any other people thought it was another opportunity, and then a lot of people thought we could be better than the first generation of Broodlord teams, So first, some people were already tired, like audience-wise. They were already tired of watching Broodlord again and again and again. In the end, I don't know if you remember, the Pro League was like 4 or 5 days a week. At that moment, there was the whole entire week, only 1 day off, and 6 days, there was all fulfilled for Broodlord. They were tired. And then OSL and Ambush game tried to, Warcraft and then Tekken and things like that. Of course, it didn't, the viewership didn't reach the Broodlord. And then it's just the negative thing is piling up, I tried other thing, but it didn't go well. So Broodlord again and again and again. So I didn't want to go back to another esports scene. I was actually studying it, but like a lot of people, like commentator and casters and the pro player thought it is a good scene, and then the game itself is good. But I do remember the common players in Korea. At that moment, the StarCraft 2 was expensive compared to other games. It was like around the $70, $60 in 2010. Still, the game is $70, right? But I didn't really care about price, because if a game is good, if you wanna play game like more than 100,000 times, the price doesn't matter. But because of I say like 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, that it's very shameful, but a lot of people play Broodlord for free, not buying copy officially. So that's why people intend to not play StarCraft 2 and then play Broodlord.
Do you know the Blizzard-KeSPA Dispute? The one where KeSPA said that or Blizzard said we want to, you owe us because we made StarCraft. Do you know about that?
Yeah, I remember that moment. I mean, I want to say honestly, I thought it was bullshit, I mean, what? I mean, I'm of course, Blizzard had it all right. And KeSPA said because we developed this entire scene, we also need another, some part of copyright, things like that. I thought it was real shit. Yeah, I mean.
Did you hear that KeSPA apparently said, we're FIFA, you guys are just the soccer ball?
They say that? I didn't hear that. I mean,
they even cursed. They said, you're the fucking soccer ball.
No wonder why it was terrifying.
The match-fixing scandal, I believe that was 2009, 2010. Can you talk about the match-fixing scandal, what that was, and how it affected the Broodlord community, but esports as well in general?
Yeah, of course it was horrible. It's not because of only match-fixing. It's because I found myself to start the pro gaming, the watching Boxer, and then Nara Reach. But they didn't do anything illegal thing, even now. But after my generation, or even in my generation, some people were, watching the one of the match-fixing players and then admire them. I want to be one of them. And then somehow they're already, successful. They were already successful economically, and then their like pride or career. But somehow, so a lot of people try to stop it too as well. And then because of lacking of rookies, and then because of viewers were, some people actually gone forever. Some people try to make space for a while, and then viewership goes down. And then there was League of Legends was popped, and then StarCraft 2 wasn't popped, but still other games were there, right? So company thought, they were always carrying numbers. That's their job. So they were trying to reduce the team support, things like that. So if team support is reduced, everything is reduced. The members are reduced, and the OG and OSL, there's always same people again and again. So they are trying to make less tournament or less, So it was horrible.
With StarCraft 2, do you remember some of the first games that you played? Did you watch any games before you played StarCraft 2, or did you just play StarCraft 2 first?
So the MMA convinced me to play, and then he said he is in Boxer team, and then I was fine in Boxer at the moment. So I watched the Boxer's game and MMA's game, and I remember the tournament that MMA lost by Protoss so horribly, the second place. And then because it was a really short period that if I wanted to join the Slayers or not, it was only 10 days, things like that. And I didn't play the StarCraft 2 at all. So I couldn't change my race. So I watched MC and Alicia. And then that moment, Alicia was the best player. MC was already knocked out, and then Alicia was the last Protoss player in round 8, and he was also lost by Port, I think. So Protoss is still weak, and wow, MMA is top 2. I think I could be one of them. That's my memory.
So when you did start practicing StarCraft 2, what did you think about the game, especially because you came from Broodlord, which was 10 years played, meta development, 5 base versus 7 base. StarCraft 2, 1 base versus 1 base.
So at that moment, a lot of people play versus Zerg as a Protoss. 3 gateway start, and then 6 sentries, and then Nexus. I thought, what the hell? I mean, starting point is already like you are already super behind. So I was like, still MC and Alicia made it, but I don't think it's really helpful. I didn't think at all. So I I actually in Slayers I was the first one who kept playing only like double nexus with Forge, with the Tardan Martyr and things like that. And then the maps were horrible in the moment, right? And the maps were changing it, so it was like joyful because like I was the one who was follower in Broodlord by Bisu or Bass. Of course, sometimes I make strategies and give them, but most likely, But the StarCraft 2, I thought I could make something there. So it was fun to play, to develop new strategy.
So in 2011, Infestor Broodlord was a very big problem. Do you remember that meta? And how do you remember it?
Well, just like I said, when I was pro player, I tried to not whine about balance at all, because there was always like MC and others. So, but if we talk seriously about balance and how to overcome things like that, it was impossible, really. I think one of the last were the Wings of Liberty tournament, the Ryong, when he was Axiom with me, he played the same final in Las Vegas, and then after he lost by sniper, he typed the imba, right? Because he always have showmanship, things like that. So it's not like he's wanted to whine or complaining so hard, but there was no way to beat. There's no way to beat. But some Zerg players still don't agree. So it's disgusting. But by the way, yeah. But I don't know if Ryong already interviewed with you or something like that. Ryong was actually lectured by GSTL to do it, because there was Michael Moime as well. In all the Blizzard people were there. So I think it's the first time to talk shit from Korea in the public, the offline stage. So that's why I think he was negative. But yeah, but I don't know if his behavior was right, but whatever he said wasn't wrong. It was right.
Do you remember when the Vortex, the Mothership Vortex, was first used in professional play, and was then seen as an actual counter?
Yeah, because I think some people who watch this interview remember me as a first Korean tried to snipe the Infestor Broodlord in GSTL, because I couldn't beat. I can curse here, right? It's not like showing on TV, right? I couldn't beat the fucking Broodlord Infestor. So I think it is here on YouTube. There was like GSTL, the Slayers versus NS also, something like that. He used to be known by Infestor guy. I couldn't beat. It was, yeah, I mean, he was like a really rookie, so I don't think you remember it. But like it was like we split the half in entire maps, and then I made the carriers and the Mothership, and then put the Vortex and then for Arc and things like that. And still JIP is still mentioning and then making fun of me, but it was some like special strategies that I can use and then beat the freaking tactics. And then of course if Zerg knows how to defend it, they can just the neuroparasite and then counter it again. So yeah, I remember exactly, and it was disgusting still.
Do you think that the Broodlord Infestor meta and the problem that it was actually affected viewership and player base of StarCraft 2?
I think in my opinion, it wasn't really a big problem. But if the Heart of the Storm didn't come out at that moment, I think it could be a problem. But after we realized that even pro players couldn't find a way to beat it, it wasn't even a year, I would say. It was a few months, if I remember, So after that, we could just jump in. We forgot it, So of course, in the end of Wings of Liberty, like Sniper versus Gun in GSTL final GVG, I think the another GVG was like Roro and others. So 2 GVG in a row, and then we went to the Heart of the Storm. So I think that was fine. Yeah.
So when Heart of the Swarm was released, what did you think of the expansion?
The game itself was, of course, for whole like pro player scene, we were tired of playing against the same thing again and again and again. So it was pretty fun to play for few days. And then of course it cannot be balanced, All games cannot be balanced when they release, especially this competitive game. So, we were, in gaming house, we were starting whining again, like, oh, Broodlord Infestor, and then Somos, So, but still better than Broodlord Infestor because we could still beat it. But I think because you mentioned about viewership-wise, Somos affected a lot more than Broodlord Infestor. That's how we remember it. Yeah.
But when Slayers disbanded, they disbanded after you left, correct?
Yep. No. I left first because.
Yeah, you left first because of injury, is what the.
Yeah, injury, and then I left, and then I joined Axiom.
So Slayers, you went back home to recover. Slayers eventually disbanded. Then you started streaming, and you had crowdfunded, basically. People started to crowdfund you to get you to a tournament, and that's when Total Biscuit and his wife stepped in. Can you talk about that time, kind of that story?
Yeah, actually, of course, I've been running team as well, but it is really hard to run the team, to be honest. If I can keep this experience and then knowledge and then go back to the past, I would understand a bit more about the Slayers team, the situation. But still, I don't regret any things that I did in Slayers. I was really I could do the best. I did everything that I could done, So, and then somehow we didn't match each other, and then I left, and then I thought I could lose everything because I failed with the STX, I failed with the T1, I failed with the Slayers. So I almost quit the scene again. But the stupid MMA who brought it to me to StarCraft 2, and then he also quit the Slayers. Then he wanted to hold me back, He thought I was talented. He thought I could be something in StarCraft 2 scene. Somehow, it turns out in different paths, he was right, but whatever, yeah. And then there was no way, like some people still thought, because in the past, a lot of foreign team wanted to hire Korean StarCraft 2 players because Korean StarCraft 2 players were the best. Still, I think, in my opinion, average-wise, StarCraft 2 Korean players are the best, but, in my opinion, top pitch, we are not anymore, I think. But so a lot of people were misunderstanding that I quit the team because I could go foreign team to get money. But at that moment, nobody knows about me. There was no way for me to join some, hero in Team Liquid, Teja in Team Liquid. There was no way. So that's why I started streaming in worse English than now, and then getting into know about foreign fans. And then I remember it that I wasn't the one who wanted to go MLG, right? MLG, right? And things like that. Somehow people made crowdfunding, send crank to some tournament, things like that. I was like, but I mean, I couldn't think that could be possible, things like that. So I let them do whatever they wanted, And then somehow the crowdfunding was reached the top, and then the guy who names the Total Biscuit, they email me, message me that I'm the who blah 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 blah. But like I said, I already lost all the trust for all other people, and then I was very defensive. I was really always try to have space between people and me. And then he was big name, right? He was big name, and I'm the one who is unknown people. But he was the one who had to explain about himself to me. So, why is he doing that? But like he was supporting another European players individual sponsorship by him. So, he wanted to give some chance to players like me. So, okay, let's get that chance. And then somehow the tournament that he supported and then the Reddit fans and other fans supported, I did fine. So, yeah, that was a good memory.
Can you just talk about how the experience was on Axiom working with Total Biscuit?
Yeah, I wanna say only nice words about him in camera, but since we are the friend, not because of business-wise friend, I wanted to be real, He was a really passionate owner, but because of how passionate he is, sometimes he went wrong direction, I would say. He could be very furious, and he is very passionate to support our teams, but I always try to calm down, just don't go too high, don't go too low. So it was fun working with him, and then it was really unforgettable moment that why the Torabisket and Jenna is trying to support us when there is no money for them from us, there is just the giving to us. There is no receiving at all. So that's why I could be only like focusing on running the team, besides trying to find a way to get something for me, So yeah, it was really great, and because of that memory, I still, could run the team, and I don't know how my life would be if I didn't believe Torah Biscuit, If I thought he was just scam, just go away. Oh, yeah, it will be totally different.
So now I would like to ask you about GSTL. Can you talk about what GSTL was and how important you thought it was to the StarCraft 2 scene?
So GSTL used to be, only like a team league in StarCraft 2 scene, but unfortunately it couldn't go as big as Pro League and Broodlord. But teams like us, who which hired more than 3 to 4 players, they always try to find the meaningful to run the big team, So GSTL was the one who filled the space. So I don't know how audience liked it compared to Pro League, but because I was the one who could play GSTL more than individual tournament, the GSTL was very meaningful for us, and then I actually reached the trophy as a team. So.
And I will be showing you that moment actually. So I'm going to show you this, and you can react to it on camera, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, should I run?
Yeah, run. So, what did it feel like doing that, winning that championship? And then, how did Innovation like your the ceremony going up in the air?
So it was, I think, a second season to participate in GSTL as an Axiom, the Axiom-Acer, right? The partnership. So the first season we were like top 1, 2, and then because we didn't have a savior, I would say, the really like top tier player who beat everybody, you know. We didn't have a really ace player, you know. So we couldn't reach the first prize. And then I figured out that the Innovation was already my teammate in STX Store, and then the Acer tried to recruit him, and then I demanded John, the Tora Biscuit, to get him if we keep doing Axiom-Acer. So that's why we got the Innovation, and then because of Innovation, just like we know the Innovation to carry it in the end, right? So it was like really something like you do puzzle, you know. We always racking up one puzzle piece, and then Innovation fulfilled. So it was really awesome. And then I was proud of myself that I lead to the top with the guys. So, and then I and Innovation actually ceremonied some silly things, and we were not doing that at all. We were not planning to do that at all, but we were high, you know, adrenaline and things like that. So MMA and Heart and Young Alicia kept talking to me to do that, and then we did it. And then, man, because of us, people had fun. We are fine.
Can you discuss your thoughts on region locking? What you thought at the time that it was announced in 2015, and do you think it was successful in its goals today?
I think I would be very honest about region locking on StarCraft 2. Back in days, I was already like honest. I was really like against the Korean players, because a lot of Korean players were against the region lock, because they used to be able to go overseas to play, and then let's say easier money than GSL, I would say. But I was already there to run the team, and then I was already know that I already know StarCraft 2, the team itself isn't making any money, unfortunately. And then if the Korean people keep doing that, when the StarCraft 2 wasn't the most popular game in Korea, but everywhere is fulfilled the Korean pro players, it wasn't fair for entire scene. It wasn't healthy at all. So I was already like joining WCS NA because I was an NA team. I was already took advantage, you know. So I was happy to do that because GSL was a lot harder. Everybody knows that. But because I went to there and I could get some, you know, money and then place to play, I could grow up, because everybody needed a chance to play the cage, things like that. The online and practice, if we are good at it, I still don't count it's good. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of people suck at it at offline, even if you are good at online, in Broodlord scene as well. So offline, the experience matter a lot. So I was lucky to do that, but I thought it was the right choice to do that, because the Korean were dominating and then breaking for entire other countries' tournament. That's my opinion.
Do you think region locking was successful in its goals then?
Like I said, that I was the one who wanted to who got the opportunity to play WCS NA, but I felt like starting the region locking should be the really like I would say more strict than that. No Korean exception at all. In the end, it went like that, right? The Korean like Hydra and True Port, they had to get visa from the US and then play there. It had to be like that, in my opinion, because of that, some NA players were born as a good player, I would say, like Neeb, and then the other players as well. My Scarlet was already good, and then EU players as well. But in the past, I wasn't good. Of course, I'm not the one who could underestimate other players in other country, but compared to other top tier Korean players, EU players were actually weaker. But now it's a lot stronger. Nobody underestimate about EU players. So because of Korean were dominating the other scenes, other tournament, people, I bet a lot of people try to stop watching the tournament because it's same shit again and again. GSL, DreamHack, same face. So I don't think that was healthy.
What happened first? I think this happened first. Can you talk about the life match-fixing scandal?
Well, I mean, I've been very honest in this camera in front of you, but like ever since Savior won the Broodlord, there was always rumor going on. Who is getting addicted about illegal betting? Who is getting addicted to just others, things like that, who are failed investor, things like that. And then I was already accused match fix. But you know why I was super sad? Because I just played bad, super bad. But there was tons of people like that, But still there were tons of people still accused, still inside that he must did. Even nowadays other like even Korean and other nation players were accused. Yeah, I go back to the life of things. We were not really shocked because we could know how, because some games were off, if you see that, So, and then we already experienced the Savior thing. It was a huge thing. We were shocked and we lost all feeling of like can be shocked, So we were sucks. Another one of like actually life could be the one that who could go the top tier. He could be there, but I don't wanna say and people think that if he keep playing that he could be better than Serral or same as Serral. I don't wanna think that at all, because why I matter it's another subject, but I wanna say shortly. The Teddy matters a lot. You know what I'm talking about? Even though this year the who is GOAT, Maru Serral, it was a huge drama, right? But in myself, ever since the Serral beat the Maru 4-0 twice, it's not like Maru is better than Serral, something like that. It's hard because Serral already reached another world championship, things like that. It's here. But before that, even though Maru kept losing against Serral, still Maru's history is long. He's been top very long time. So if I go back to life, things like that, even though he was good at that moment, nobody can know how long he could be the top level. So I don't want people to think or like life compared to Serral, things like that. It's really disrespectful about Serral and Maru and other people who is being steady in top level and keep practice.
Legacy of the Void released in 2015. What were your thoughts on the expansion? You went to some of the summits where they showed us their plans. What were your thoughts on it?
When I went to Blizzard Summit and then saw the Legacy of the Void, the alpha, beta, or something like that before actually released, I was happy to play another game. But at that moment, I was already retiring slowly, already just trying to focus on managing team and then support the players. So I had another perspective, I was try to approach the Legacy of the Void with viewer-wise or like broadcast-wise. I had a bad feeling about that. The game itself got faster, and then more units were added, and it could go end the game so easily if you miss only 1 second or 2 seconds extra. Here, or that still like a disruptor, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I could, if I was there, how I could develop better game and then more watchable things like that. But I had a bad feeling about watching those kind of new units were added.
Well, it's 9 years later. Do you think Legacy of the Void is the best expansion for StarCraft, or did you like the other ones?
You mean compared to Heart of the Storm? Oh, of course, Wings of Liberty was the best. And in my opinion, even I would like to include all, you know, all parts like campaign-wise or other things. Wings of Liberty is best, and then Legacy of the Void and Heart of the Storm. And I bet a lot of people say this way. So like Wings of Liberty, if they didn't give up the balancing of a Broodlord or Infestor, I still think it's not bad to go back to play Wings of Liberty here.
Just a few more questions. So, when Neeb won the KeSPA Cup, that was that was the first non-Korean to win a championship on Korean soil. What were your thoughts when that happened, and do you know what the general Korea thoughts were about that moment?
Okay. About Neeb winning the KeSPA thing, again, I would like to be very honest here, straightforward. At that moment, I didn't care that winning as a real winning, just personally, because at that moment, people didn't know that the all entire KeSPA team were disbanded. So pro players were not, you know, able to focusing on game. So of course, Neeb were great. I and Neeb are friends, you know. Neeb's last team was my, you know, I mean, one of my. By the way, yeah. So because I was with the Korean players, like more friendly than Neeb at the moment, I always thought in myself that if Korean players could practice more, it could be at least even or beatable, because Neeb actually destroyed the Korean players. But if Korean players practiced more than they could do it, it could go different way. That's how I felt. But getting to know about Neeb, how Neeb try to change meta, how Neeb playing the tactics and strategy wise, just like I said about Bisu versus Xavier, I didn't really care the result first, but getting into know about the Neeb's play, it was incredible. So after that, he showed more. Like I do remember there was Serral, Rogue, Neeb, or others. There was like 4 invitational. There is just a show match, and then I watched the Neeb's play, and it was incredible. And then there was True, who played the WNA. He talked to me that there was one NA guy, and I feel like it is same to play against the Bisu when I was in Broodlord. So it was really like a meta change, revolutionized things like that. So studying about Neeb's play, it was really like revolutionized. The detail-wise, like expansion timing, about how he get greedy, how he managed the units, it was far different than the Korean Protoss.
Great. And then kind of the same question for when Serral won BlizzCon 2018.
About Serral, I think in entire the Korean scene, I'm the kind of big fan of Serral. Even though I got paired with Maru very long time, then Serral is the one who keep beating Maru, but I never hated Serral. and then I stream in Korea. I always say that how Serral plays is incredible. Like his mindset, how, for example, the in TVC, he tends the farther from Zerg's main base, but closer to Terran's base. So he prepare about the split half up. So he always tries to eat the minerals from Terran's base first, right? I've been telling people in stream and things like that, but it's rough, right? It's really rough to hand the very further and then maintain and then take care of drones from either corner, things like that. So yeah, I mean, if I talk about the Serral's Blizzcon winning the first one, it wasn't same as Neeb or Savior, because he was already like made it, like completed. So I was shocked because there was nobody from EU scene. Of course, there was like I don't wanna say like a BC or AS something like that, but if I wanna explain to viewers the easy way, there was A, B players. There were many EU players, but there is no S to reach the top level to beat any kind of top Korean players. All of a sudden, but there was Neeb, but like in Korea wise, there was like I said that there was exemption. We couldn't practice at all. But he could still win Neeb. He could still win, but that BlizzCon, nobody had problem. Everybody practiced. Everybody focused on BlizzCon. So not because of strategy wise or rock paper scissors or rock. It's not based on that. It's based on skills, mechanics, macro, micro. So everybody's shocked. So yeah.
Was there any truth to the Korean, the idea that Koreans felt the necessity to defend the Korean dominance in StarCraft? Some Korean players, when they were asked about, facing certain foreigners, they said, oh, well, I felt like I had to, beat him. Korea is still best.
In my opinion of the question, I don't really see the actual Korean players thought that way. But because of the interview and because of that moment, if Serral bit or Clan bit or Koreans, somehow you wanna be, represent the whole nation. I wanna be like last Korean than savior of the Korean, things like that. But in general, it's because of its individual game in 1v1 tournament, they don't really say that Korean is the best or things like that. After Serral, there were Clam and Rainer, even not the first place level, like their Showtime or Hero Marine, they could go first place or something like that. They could do same final. They are good. So a lot of Koreans are afraid of even facing against the Showtime, Hero Marine, all of them. So I haven't heard of we are the best. We cannot lose against the EU or any.
What was your proudest StarCraft 2 moment?
I wasn't. My best proud moment isn't something like I won the trophy or things like that. Unfortunately, I couldn't win the 1v1 GSTL war, things like that. My best proud moment is not, I cannot say it, only one moment. I wanna say when I was running Axiom, when I'm running on-site and Vitality. The Axiom, I wanted to do that because that's only one way to survive, but because of really awesome people, I cannot meet I cannot find better than them anymore. I worked so hard, but Vitality on-site, I always say Vitality and on-site, I don't want to do this. But somehow, because I'm involved, we are making some progress and then getting bigger and things like that. Because I'm here and then work, so team is getting bigger and better.
that's making me proud of myself.
And lastly, what does StarCraft mean to you?
Well, if I think harder and then we have longer time, I can say forever about that. Because, I always try to get away from StarCraft. For example, even though T1 didn't want me to quit, I quit. And then MMA, even though I wanted to quit StarCraft 2, MMA held me back. And even though I don't want to be esports scene anymore, somehow on side and things like that. So it's something like we have like magnet each other. And then even if I didn't intend to do this kind of thing, StarCraft to make my life more adventure and better. And then people like you, my wife, and Travis and Onside, everybody, if I don't play StarCraft and then just do normal life, I don't think I could meet this kind of people. So StarCraft means everything